Well, we still have the monarch. That monarch is still the defender of the faith, or I should say monarchy, defender of the faith. There's a very thin tendril to our Governor General, and of course our monarch now has no real legislative power. In fact, it's largely a symbolic role. Nevertheless, it's critical. We have a House of Commons elected, and a Senate that, well, it's our Senate. So the current government falls short of the ideals that I'm proposing. Now, we often criticize historical examples of top-down governance. We decry the atheist Stalin's violent imposition of collectivism, even though the Bible sanctions such acts in Acts 4, verses 27 to 32. Most of the regimes we reject include the imposition of the ethics, philosophy, and ideology of the head of state. While it's certainly more benign than most, our monarchy still has that characteristic. The Canadian monarchy's title still includes head of the Church of England. So what does this do for our government in practice? Well, certainly most of us approach our government with the idea of respect and reason and ethics and ideas and dignity and equality, but we're still hobbled by the concept of tolerance. And that is a problem. Tolerance is not good enough, people. I tolerated the frost of the windshield of my car this morning. I tolerate freezing rain. I even tolerate rude people in the street. But to ask me to tolerate a fellow human being, I'm sorry, is to ask me to reduce my standards. We need a government that works on the basis of respect, just as I said this morning. The other problem we have is that there's still a certain amount of religious favoritism. Some of it token, some of it real. We humanists are left out of this equation. I think once they stopped burning us at the stake a few hundred years ago, they figured everything was okay. But how can one treat 25% of the citizens by ignoring them? That's a mystery to me. By way of example, in the Ontario legislature, atheists are told to listen to a series of opening theist prayers and then, in effect, sit down and shut up. They officially call it a moment of silence. Religious favor still exists in our laws. The Income Tax Act, for example, has a specific category of charity for religions. Now, the tone of this category is different from all the others. There are 4 categories: community service, education, religion, and other. Wouldn't be Canadian if it didn't have other. At any rate, basically, this says that to achieve charitable status as a religion, you just need to promote your religion. On the other hand, another category, like education, has an aspect that you must do some outside community good. It involves advancing knowledge and so on. So it's a different tone. In addition to that, when we get to the operational clauses of suggestion, one of the things that religions are allowed to do is have a building fund. We humanists qualify for charitable status under the other category, and we are not allowed to have a building fund. Now, I have to tell you that as I complain to this, oh, by the way, clergy also enjoy on the income tax form deductions for residence costs. Our humanist officials do not. Now, I have to tell you that getting to an ideal government is not going to happen if we just start taking out these clauses. We just start saying, oh, let's take this away from religions. That's not what we need to do. Taking that clause out will move us no step further. What I suggest is that we need to look at that set of regulations and include humanist philosophies. Give us our own category. Philosophies that include positive community action. You see, my dream is that somehow we can get to an ideal government which will allow each and every one of us to approach it, I suppose symbolically around the table. Each one of us will bring our own ethics. I don't think anyone wants to develop a machine that will take away your religion or your ethics or your philosophy when you get to that table, because we do all bring things to it. And so, how do we get to that? An ideal government should allow and encourage all members of a multicultural society to bring ethics that conform to the Charter of Rights and Freedoms to the table. An ideal government would allow all of us to participate in an atmosphere of mutual respect. So where do we go? Well, let me give you some concrete suggestions. That tendril that we have attached to the monarchy is just that. All we need to do is summon the national will to tell Prince Charles that when he becomes Charles III, his family will always be welcome in Canada, but as foreign heads of state. This would sever the remaining invisible tendrils connecting Canada to a monarchy that is so connected to religion. Prince Charles, you see, has said that he will renounce the title of the Church of England. But in the next breath he said, I will then become defender of faith. Those are not reassuring words for us atheists. At the same time, of course, we should make the position of Governor General elected one, and Senate elected, simply based on the principle that if you are going to govern in this country, you must be responsible directly to the people. Part of the idea. I said that we'd be talking about symbols. And any ideal government should include participation of its people with symbols that are inclusive. For example, if 25% of its citizens cannot sing the national anthem without being hypocrites, how can that be an ideal government? Canadian national anthem is theist. And in the English version, it is also sexist. It's really important that all Canadians should be able to voice support for our home and cherished land. Our Canada should demand true patriot love from all of us. And our national song should allow us to confirm that as Canadians, we'll keep our land glorious and free. Il est très important que notre pays supporte les choix démocratiques. Il est très important que sa valeur est remplie de raison. Et il est très important que nous protégerons tous ensemble nos foyers et nos droits. You see, an ideal government treats all its citizens with respect, not tolerance. An ideal government structure ensures that everyone can take part in government equally without a top-down impression that one religion or philosophy is the ultimate or most acceptable. Such an ideal government is devoid of religious symbolism. We Canadians have managed to install non-religious affirmations for every public office, from municipal councillor to governor general, and to remove the religious symbols from our national flag. Let us move forward to remove the theistically attached monarchy and to celebrate the new, mutually respectful Canada with the new, mutually respectful national symbols. To approach the idea of an ideal government, we must end tolerance, and we must begin respect. Thank you. You may stay.